Thank you so much for joining us. So Barb, when you are working with plan sponsors on custom target strategies, what are some of the most common myths they have about communications?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because I think one of the first things we hear is communication is going to be harder because it's a custom target strategy. And I think that's the number one myth. Now within that, I think there's some concerns employers have. So concern number one might be, wow, I'm not going to get the support I would get if it was a retail fund. And that's not true. I mean, with a custom target strategy, you can get all the same types of things you do with a retail fund. Take fund fact sheets, for instance. A lot of people are concerned about that. Well, you can create fund fact sheets with the custom target strategy, and the beauty of the custom target is you then point them to the underlying funds, and it's all there. It's actually, in some ways, more complete. Or some employers think their employees want brand name. Well, if I think of custom target strategies or any target date fund, you don't want employees choosing based on the brand name. You want them choosing because what they're looking for is the simplicity and automation that comes with a target date fund. So you really don't want brand name, and in fact, as an employer, if you're focused on the brand name, it actually makes it harder if at some point you need to make that tough decision of I need to change this fund. I think the third type of concern we sometimes hear from employers or plan sponsors is their employees want to look it up in the newspaper. Well, I have to chuckle. That's something we've heard for years with any institutional fund. And the fact of the matter is I don't think there's any evidence to support that. Most employees are looking for their provider or their plan sponsor to give them that information. And especially as we look at folks that are going to be more attracted to the target date strategies, they're not the ones that are going out and monitoring the newspaper every day.
So Barb, what is the reality in communicating custom target date strategies?
I think when we look at communicating custom target strategies, I actually want to back up and look at target date strategies overall. Because what those did is really make communication much simpler. In the past, we actually needed to educate employees. We had to educate them on investing basics. We had to teach them how to apply the investing basics, and then they had to go implement. There's a lot of points along that path where we lost employees, not wanting to learn, not confident in their ability to make decisions. And because of that, had really bad outcomes for some folks. Like, let me pick the best returns for the last year, or let me put it in the safe choice because I'm not confident. You saw a lot of problems there. So come along target date funds really resolve a lot of that because people can invest, they understand the importance of asset allocation, they can invest and be confident that they've made an okay decision without having to implement all that. Put custom target strategies on top of that, and they actually have much more simplicity. If you think about it, they are simply choosing, do I want to go through a path where the allocation is done for me? Or do I want to do it myself? If you think of another type of option, there's actually more choice that employees should be addressing. Do I want to go the simple approach, which also means I may get different types of investments than I will if I mix my own?
How can plan sponsors make the communication of target date strategies most successful?
Yes, Stacy, I think there's a lot of things plan sponsors can think about. The number one thing is keep it simple. Custom target date funds are actually very complex mechanisms, but the employees they're appealing to want simplicity. So when it comes to communications, simplicity needs to rule. The details need to be there, but don't expect employees to go through the details. Explain it succinctly and easy and make them confident that they can move forward and this is a strategy that's meant for them. It's really helping employees focus on the knowledge they need if they want to do it on their own versus simplicity that they can get if they go the custom route.
So how can plan sponsors make the communication simple so that participants are able to do what's in their best interest?
Right, so I think this starts with when you roll it out. When you roll it out or introduce these funds to employees, it really is that choice of do you want the investment professionals to do it for you or do you want to do it on your own? That's the first decision employees need to make because they get to the same funds either way. So it's a preference. It's a preference based on the time they want to spend as well as the knowledge they have. So what plan sponsors need to do is keep it simple, is keep focused on that choice. Give them the basics so they can understand what it means and what it would mean if they choose to do it on their own. Guide them through the process and let them know more details are there. We have to keep in mind that the type of people who are most likely to go to the custom target strategies are the ones that really appreciate simplicity and may or may not be the ones that want to go through all the details.
When we think of communicating custom strategies, many plan sponsors may think it's far more difficult to provide the details and the facts on custom strategies. What's your opinion?
I think that that is such a misperception in the marketplace, that really mutual funds are the only ones that can have the detailed information. Morningstar utilizes all of our relationships with custodians, asset managers, and trustees to collect the information and perform the same analysis on a custom fund as we would for any other registered fund. And we've been doing this for over 10 years for custom investments, and we calculate data on 40,000 custom investments and fuel that to websites and fact sheets for millions of participants. So really, the same level of data is available no matter what the underlying investment is.
So they can get the same type of fund fact sheet, whether it's a mutual fund or a custom target fund?
Absolutely. So the same portfolio risk statistics are available. Even Morningstar measures like the rating or style box are available for private funds and custom target date strategies, as well as for mutual funds. And so really we can calculate and present the same data no matter what the investment option.
And then how does a plan sponsor set that up, as well as how do they keep it updated?
We work directly with the sponsor or the provider and their consultant to get the asset allocation information and contact information for the underlying asset managers. And then we collect the underlying constituents for each underlying fund and then aggregate that data to produce a single portfolio for a custom target date fund. And then ongoing, once we've established those relationships, we put together a project plan and a calendar that outlines the deadlines and deliverables and milestones for ongoing updates. And once the information is updated in our database and refreshed, then we can recalculate all of the data and send that out into whatever medium the client needs it.
Mm-hmm. And if the plan sponsor is using separately managed accounts, collective investment trusts, mutual funds, are there added complexities?
Not except getting access to the data. So as long as we've got a contact and we know the name of the company, we're able to collect that portfolio information, and we really treat it the same. A portfolio is a portfolio, and we worry less about the legal structure of it when really aggregating and putting together these investments.